Andy, first thing wanted to mention for maybe some of the people who hadn't heard what you'd said about some of the academy lads after the game on Tuesday and how well they did. Just can you give us a bit of an insight into how some of them have been after they've played in the first team for the first time, and what the atmosphere amongst them at least has been like since then?
Yeah, they were with us this morning. So the three lads who started the game, and the guys who came off the bench, they trained with us this morning. And say a really proud moment for them as individuals, for them as a group, and I think it sends a lot of signals out about the work going on behind the scenes with the football club throughout the younger age groups. Some good coaches, some good young players being developed, and it's important from my point of view then that if the guys in the academy think that they're doing well and they're playing well, that I can then give them that platform to see if they can step up into first team football as and when at the appropriate time. And using Ben Lomax as an example, I thought his performance on Tuesday night was of a really high level and shown real good composure, and delights for all of them. But now they've got to build on it. It can't be a one cap. Do you know what I mean? About a one game thing. They've got to think about the things they've done to get to this stage. But there's a lot more twists and turns on the journey to become a professional footballer, and that means you're playing hundreds of games, not one.
How do you judge when someone like that is ready? Because obviously you've not had the benefit of seeing Ben in a first team game. So how do you judge when he or a Reece Walters or even a James Plant, going back to last year, how do you judge when they're ready to make that step?
I think slightly different with all of them. I've got to be honest. James was training regularly with us last season. Reece has been with us through every single day since we came back for pre-season, as has Jack. We were at the Youth Cup game last Wednesday, where Ben played very well, and we were there. So every day is an opportunity to impress the academy staff, Matty Doan, and the communication from the academy to the first team is open, it's regular, it's really honest, and so it's then up to me then to think, is this the right game to give these guys an opportunity? And obviously a lot of things are dictated by that, the competition, the amount of injuries the first team have got and first team players, and sometimes an opportunity arises in all walks of life and then you've got to go and grab it. And I say Ben comes away from that game on Tuesday night having had a really good debut, as did Andrew, and again the young lads who then came off the bench and got 10-15 minutes. It will hopefully help them in their development.
Does it help now that there's more of a structure maybe about the place, that the youth team will play in the same pattern that the first team does? So when these guys do get their chance, they kind of know their job and they know what's required of them, and it's just a matter of stepping up a level as opposed to maybe, I don't know, changing the way that they play or fitting into the team in a different way than they're accustomed to.
Yeah, I think from a football club, we're trying to work along the same principles. Are you always going to play in the same formation? And I've told you what I think of formations. Andrew's not played left wing back before, but we had to go to Wrexham and try and win the game. Hence why we play with two wingers at wing back. But yeah, listen, it's not about formations, whatever. It's about being part of a plan moving forward, and so that the academy now have got real good structure, real good balance, good people working staff-wise, and young players can now look at our football club and think there's a real good opportunity there. That they're all aligned, they're all connected. Some young players won't get to under 16. If they're that good, they'll be sold, and that's what happens within say the business model of a football club. But I'm certainly prepared to give young players an opportunity. Ever since I've became a coach, I've worked in football clubs where young players have been ready, been given an opportunity, and gone on and grown. And my after Scunthorpe and going to Southampton, some of the young players there who were given an opportunity have now gone and played for England and Premier League. But everyone needs a chance, don't they, at some stage, and you just need that little bit of trust and encouragement and belief in them, and some honesty as well.
Moving on to the first team, it's back to the league this weekend, of course, but could really do with a win, really could, because I think there is a bit of a streak now that's going where you haven't won a league game. So I suppose, does that kind of build over time? Does it become harder to do that, or do the cup matches and the way you play and how you get through those games, does that kind of help break that up a little bit?
No, we're looking to win every single game we play. So our league run in terms of results isn't great. Absolutely. Our last two performances in the Mansfield and Burton home game in the Cup, I thought were really good, and we're looking to build on that.
When it comes to things like that, one of the issues has been goals, obviously, and it's about taking those chances. I know you've talked at length about that, but how do you solve it? And I suppose that's a really big question, but how do you take those chances? Is it coaching? Is it trying to get the players to be more bold? Is it trying to get guys to involve from midfield? How do you go about it? How do you solve a problem like that?
Loads and loads and loads of different ways. We're obviously looking at everything. I said to you guys before about the amount of time we actually spend on the grass as a whole group is minimal because of the game schedule we've got, the amount of midweek games we've got. We're using classroom stuff, we're using one-on-one individual meetings, unit meetings, looking at the structure of ourselves both in and out of possession, getting more men in the box. We're looking at everything. We've got to keep working. We are creating chances. The minute you stop creating chances will be a real concern, and we're trying to give everyone confidence and belief. So if you're from free play, have we been as free flowing and had a number of chances? No. Are we working towards something? Absolutely. Can we be more effective from set plays? There's a number of ways in which you can suddenly break that duck, so to speak, and then suddenly go on a run where you're scoring every week. So hopefully that's not too far away.
And that's the big thing, I suppose, isn't it? Because when you get one, I suppose more will come along, isn't it? And is it sometimes a psychological thing where you need a player to score a goal or you need someone to score a goal and then you see that confidence come back? Can it be that quick sometimes?
I think there's certainly a psychological impact, 100%, and I think that's why it's important from my point of view and from the coach's point of view that we keep instilling that confidence in the players, that keep getting in the box, keep making the right runs, and eventually this does change. I think the minute you almost become fearful of arriving in the right area in the box, or become, I don't want to take that shot because I don't really want to miss, I think that's when it then overrides that. So that's what we're looking at from myself's point of view and the coaching staff. Keep believing in the players, keep trying to improve them on the grass, in the classroom, and we will become that free-flowing team that we want to be.
Has the schedule really made it that difficult, like you just alluded to there? Has it really been difficult to try and get out there and get something into the players? Because it does seem like since the start of the season, you've been Saturday, Tuesday, with the odd international break aside, more or less non-stop. Has that seemed kind of like more of a workload this year?
I think the workload, we've played 10 out of 30 midweeks, I think. And two of the blank ones have come on the back of the international break. So it's meant we've had to try and work in a different way. Our grass time as a whole football squad has gone down because it has to, because you're playing every 3 days. So the match day plus 2 is a recovery day because you're playing again the next day. And that cycle then continues. Thursday becomes a recovery day for the players who started on the Saturday. So what you can actually do on those match day plus 2 sessions is not a lot, because I've also got to be conscious of the injuries we've got and keeping the players we have got fit and available. Now, are you losing some time on the grass? Yeah, you are, but there's also other ways to learn. And I think certainly from the younger players' point of view, they're more used to analysis, they're more used to animation, video, etc. So that's the route we've had to almost focus on, and almost having to think about the consequences of doing too much, and that's what we're doing.
Just a quick mention about Lincoln as well. I suppose that now becomes the uppermost one. They've been pretty decent, but again, changed the manager this year as well, and again, things change in that. Does that make the preparation any more difficult? Does it change things when you try and look at the different styles that they might employ now?
Well, I think that they're still playing the same formation that Mark was, and Mark came in and me looking from the outside. Obviously, you don't know what's happening on the inside. Did well last season and got off to a half decent start this season as well. But obviously, the club decided to make a change. They still appear to be playing with the same structure, the same formation. They've shown a little bit of flexibility out of possession, maybe in 1 or 2 recent games. But listen, we go there fully prepared with the changes that we made on Tuesday night. We've we've been very close to having our starting 11 trained this morning, which is a rarity because of the midweek games we've been playing. So we started our preparation for Lincoln this morning out on the main pitch, and it's a game so we're looking forward to. We've got, in terms of how we're playing, we've got a structure in how we're playing, and that's developing and growing, and the players are enjoying it. But obviously we know that in terms of results, we're due a win, and we're trying everything we can to get one.